Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This week I'm going to show you how to replicate Apple alert. This allows you to have a full control over your own alert in case that you don't want like the alert, and we're able to call it exactly the same way how the default alert would be. So here's a little mockup code that I run for this demo right here. We're able to call the same way, call our view modifier function and what you call alert function, and I just have three simple different alerts to show you the showcase. In this tutorial I'm just gonna follow the default design of Apple. You can customize to however you want that fit your need and fit your app theme. So the first alert that we have a cancel button, the second we have a dismiss button, and the third we will have a cancel and delete button. This styling, as I mentioned, is optional. You can design it how crazy, however that your creativity take you to. So let's get started. In front of me, I have a simple button that's gonna trigger our default alert, and have a struct, typical struct that will get the screen height and width. So today we will just, as I explained earlier, we may make this an alert that work the same way how we call a default alert. When we look at this, we know this line right here is some sort of view modifier, and they will pass in their alert object. So we right click on the alert. Apple provide us a template that allows us to look up their structure. So we can just copy this whole thing. Let's go back to it. So we're going to build our own alert in case that your alert is not working or you want to more customize over it. I'm going to change this to C alert, stand for custom. Let's go with bar. So before we go in, let me explain. So we look at our C alert structure, we see that there is a typo variable, there's a message variable, dismiss button, primary and secondary button. You can think dismiss button is the same thing as primary button. We can combine them to one. So we're gonna have a var. We're gonna set a title or text. I'm gonna do a var message, also text, but it's an optional. Var primary button, and we'll do a C alert dot button. Same thing here. We're gonna do a button. Right now we have that variable declare. Here you're gonna start initialize these. You're gonna set the title equal title. Message and cell primary button equal to our dismiss button. I'm gonna just copy the whole struct and we go down here. It's gonna be the same thing. Secondary button, I'm gonna go to the secondary button. We gotta change this, gonna return our C alert button. Also, let's make these optional because we have a different button, also it's optional here. Then we're going to go down to look at our button struct. We're seeing these are the buttons that are available. You can even make more if you want. You can just follow your template and make more. So we're going to start making these. So we look, there is a label there that's in text, and there is an escape function. That's gonna label. We're gonna make a variable of text, and we're gonna do an action that an optional escape function. And here I'm gonna change this to nil instead of just an empty function. Now we can start filling these in, and make sure you change these as well to C alert. Right, let's start filling these in. The rest is very similar. So I have again, so you can pass a label and pass an action. This one is a bit different. We don't have a label here, so we're gonna make it outside. We can just pass in text, something like cancel. You can change to dismiss if you want, and just leave that. And the last one we have is this, and we know this is a destructive button, so we're gonna add a foreground color red. Modify to it. You don't have to if you prefer not, but it makes sense in this case. So now we have our custom alert object. Now we're gonna go over to actually making our modifier. So we're gonna do a, let's see, struct. We're gonna call C. We're gonna call this C alert wrapper, and we'll call it view modifier. And we're gonna take in binding present. This is gonna be controlling whether our alert gonna show up or not. And we have a content variable that name C alert. Right. We make our initializer. Content. We need to follow this protocol, so we're gonna put a fun body. This will be the content. We should do a placeholder here. Now let's go down. We're gonna go down to make our modifier, basically the alert here. That's what we should call it. So we have our view modifier. We just need to do an extension to view and do a function called C alert. This is gonna take in is presented variable, would like mean it's gonna be controlling whether we show our alert or not. And we have a content that's gonna return a C alert. And this is gonna be returning some view. Then we do a modifier. We apply a modifier, and we're gonna call our C alert wrapper here. Pass in is presented, and we pass in our content, and that pretty much is. Now we're gonna go back here. This is so our C alert wrapper is where we're gonna design our alert. You can design it however you want. I'm gonna follow the Apple default alert just for the tutorial, but you can add some crazy animation, crazy button if you want to follow your own style. This part now is going to be designing our alerts. We're gonna put a Z stack here. We're gonna content. We're gonna put the content on the bottom. So when alert apply, we're gonna put another layer on top of it. So we're gonna put the main parent content right on the bottom of it, and then we check if it's presented. We're gonna do a color .black .opacity. Let's say 0.4, and we'll make sure that edge nor .all. So it's called the black, like the shadow that apply gonna be all black. My bad, all the entire screen. I can think. So we're gonna put the V stack here. This is where we'll be making our simpler design right here. So now we have that. We have a, let's make a VStack spacing 10, and we can access the cell content. Maybe you should rename this, because cell content and then we have a content here. This can be misleading. You can change it to something else, but I'm just gonna keep it here for now. And with this, where are we gonna set our title? Let's set the foreground. Font weight gonna be semi-bold. And since we know that our message is optional, we have to make sure that it's not equal to nil. We're gonna show the message dot footnote. Else, we're just gonna show nothing. So if that message present, we're gonna show it. Not we're gonna show an empty message. So the reason I'm not applying a bottom here is I want to give them space to fill out the message. There's not necessarily need to apply a bottom anyway, because the VStack will have a spacing here, so it will separate out the dismiss or the cancel button away from our text and our title. Let's put a spacer. This will 0. This will be designing our button. So we have a divider on top. Let's select divider and put thing in the H stack. Our button will be an H stack. So the button action, we're gonna pass cell.content.primary button action. So we want to make sure that's not equal to nil. If it is, we're gonna unwrap it. If it's not good to know, we're gonna unwrap the content of the button. Else, we just create our own function. We're gonna do a cell dot be presented. We're gonna dismiss our button. Here is going to be another H stack inside. This allows us to push the button all the way to the width that we're going to set for our button. So we know primary button label. If it's empty, we're just going to do a text dismiss. Capitalize this. We're gonna do a spacer here. So this is the reason why I'm setting this equal to nil instead of an empty function. So let's assume that you pass in just the label, you left the action empty. Since we're setting this to an empty function, every time it's called, it's gonna unwrap this, because it's saying that empty function is not equal to nil. So it's gonna pass into this and it's gonna unwrap an empty function, which gonna be overriding everything that we do, and we can't set the default for it. That's why I'm setting that equal to nil. And second one is when we want to check, we know that the button always have a primary button. So our secondary button, we have to make sure that it's not equal to nil. We're gonna add our divider. And then we're gonna add our button. we're gonna very much the same way as we did with our primary. Instead, we're gonna do a secondary button here. So here I'm just applying the default is to know if it doesn't run. Not by that. The default is close out the alert. You can also change this to something else. We're gonna apply the same. Here we don't need to be an optional with this. We can just fully unwrap it. Because we know that if we look out on initializer, we know that if you have a secondary button, it's not an optional. You have to pass in something. So there's no need to put that optional. And this is a VStack. We're gonna apply roughly 06 to it. And where does this go? That is presented. This one here. Yeah. Apply some animation, linear to this. You're gonna set the frame width. It's screen dot. Let's take roughly 0.8 above screen, and then our height go for multiply by 0.2. Background with 15. Let's set our foreground color to white. With this, you're technically done with designing. You can go back to here and you can call this. You can call C alert. See, what you call it the same way. You're gonna pass in house cell, not show alert. And you can call them C alert here. And see, now we have all access to all the initializer that we create. Let's put a symbol text and we call this here. And message. You can leave this empty if you want to. You can leave this empty here. And dismiss button. Now we should have. Oh, this is a text, not a string. Now you have all the access to these. When we have cancel, it's default. You can add cancel and you can pass in your own function. I'm just gonna leave it at a simple cancel function. Just gonna comment these out, make sure these don't run. Alright, so I'm back. I saw the iPhone from Code, so the simulator from Code, so I have to wait for all the stand up. So here, if I click this, that's not what I want. Let's look back at the design. Maybe applying the wrong part. Something. We're not applying to the Z stack, we're applying to this V stack right here. Which is right here. There you go. You can mess around with the design to get a better sizing with this. I'm just gonna keep it simple here. Now we have our custom alert that we can cancel. You can show it anytime. So this allows you to have more customized over your own alert instead of using the regular one, and able to keep it minimal as well. And you can call this literally anywhere in your project and it will show up. Alright, so that's pretty much for the tutorial. I hope it really helped you guys out. It certainly did for me, because for some reason the work I'm doing, the default alert wasn't working, so I'd have to figure this out, and I just really want to share with you guys. You guys want the code, I'll put the link down in the description below. If you like the video, please give a like, subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time, and thank you for watching.